Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Miranda, and I am the Enchantress of Avalon. So for today's video, I just want to discuss a bit more about my online class, Lessons from Celtic Mermaids, and whether this would be a great fit for you or not. So Lessons from Celtic Mermaids is a 7-week-long immersion into Celtic mermaid legend and lore led by me, and it's such a I've created this class with so much love because I truly adore the mermaids, and I truly adore the Celtic mermaid stories that I don't think are discussed enough, and I wanted to share them with everyone and also aid my students in building a relationship with these different types of mermaids. And yeah, so we're going to discuss a little bit about how the class is structured and what mermaids I'm going to be teaching about. So, as I said, the class is 7 weeks long. So there are 7 guidebooks, one for each of the mermaids we are discussing. The first 6 are types of mermaids, and then the 7th is about my beloved Melusine. I actually do teach a 7-month-long class all about Melusine every year, as I am a priestess of Melusine, and she's a mermaid goddess. So we go from types of mermaids to a mermaid goddess, and I thought that that was a really great way to structure it. And enrollment is happening now through this coming Friday. July 3rd is the final day to enroll for this year, and I'll see how it goes. I might run the class next year. I haven't fully decided, but I'm definitely super excited to teach the class this year. Our first live, which there will be 3 of, is on July 10th, so a week from the end of enrollment. And each week you will get, as I said, a guidebook with information about the stories attached to those types of mermaids. And each guidebook also has 3 lessons you can learn from the tale of those mermaids that we are studying that week. And we'll go over some more in the lives, extra lessons that we can pull from this, and overarching lessons that would apply to all of the mermaids. And each week you will either get a ritual to perform with those mermaids or a meditation with those mermaids. At the lives, we'll go over the guidebooks that we have so far covered that have been sent out to the students, discuss those mermaids, share a little bit about experiences we might have had with them, and we will do, of course, a live meditation as well, because I always end my live classes with meditations and vision journeys. And we will be doing, so let me get to I'm just looking at my notes. Let me get to what mermaids we'll be studying. So over the 7 weeks, we will study Mary Morgans, and they are Breton mermaids. So they're from the area of Brittany in France originally, although a lot of people consider them Welsh because of the connection to Morgan Le Fay and the etymological associations between the two. But they're not originally Welsh, they're originally Breton, and we'll get into that first week. We will also study the Merry Maids. They are Cornish mermaids. We will study the Merrows, Irish mermaids. The Gorgetha Noon, who are the Welsh lake maidens. So people often might not think of them as mermaids, but many water fairies are actually also mermaids, and many people consider Gorgetha Noon to be mermaids without tails, and that's the only difference. So we are studying them, and I think they're just super important in general if you're working deeply with water spirits to get to know the Gorgetha Noon. Then we'll also study the Morphorwinian, which are the Welsh mermaids in the more traditional mermaid sense, what we would think of as mermaids. We will study the Selkies, and I adore Selkies. Selkies are seal maidens. They are found in Scottish and Irish lore, but in Irish lore, they're sometimes called Silkies instead of Selkies, but I always use the term Selkie. It's the term I prefer. And they're interesting because of their transformational qualities. They are fully a seal when they're wrapped up in their seal skins, but when the seal skin is removed, they look like a normal person. So they have a humanoid form and a seal form. And then, of course, after that, at the very end of the class, there's a week devoted to Melusine. and she is a mermaid goddess. She's an Avalonian fairy queen, as she was raised on Avalon. She is found primarily in French and Germanic folklore. That's where her legend is originally found. The oldest variant of her legend comes from Jean d'Arras in the 13th century France. So exciting. And then, of course, there are Germanic tales that are a little bit later than that, but so intriguing. Now, as I said, through this all, it's about meeting these types of mermaids, building relationships with them, learning about mermaid folklore that isn't as well known. Because a lot of times we hear mermaid lore, we're thinking of classical mythology, or we're thinking of the more modern literary mermaids. But there's such a trove of lore from mermaids from all over the world. My area of expertise happens to be Celtic because I am Avalonian and Celtic in my spiritual spaces. That's my primary space that I work with. But there's so much outside of just what we would traditionally consider mermaids, and I wanted to share the Celtic with everyone. Now, as well as all of this, there is also a $25 off coupon code for my channeled readings with the mermaids. So if you wanted to get a channeled reading with the mermaids, it would be a $25 discount with that code that is accessible to students in this class. And then you also, in between our lives, have access to a private channel on my Discord server. And my Discord server is actually always linked down below. The server itself is free to join, but I have private channels that are just for my classes. So yeah, that's everything we're going to be doing in Lessons from Celtic Mermaids. A very brief, quick overview of the breakdown of class structure and everything. If this sounds interesting to you, please do go ahead and click the link in the description box to enroll. The enrollment page is going to be linked down there. You could also email me if you have any further questions. All of the information for the class is very detailed on the enrollment page, but if you have further questions, please email me. My email will also be linked down below. And if you do want to split the payment for the class fee in half, I can do that. It would just be a PayPal payment structure. So you would pay half now and half in 1 month. And I would just need to know that at an individual level if you wanted the payment plan. But other than that, that is about all I have for you today. I hope that you're having a very wonderful midsummer season, everyone, and I hope to see you in Lessons from Celtic Mermaids. Bye now.